somehow right. That's all time. That's all time.
Derek Jeter is top 3 shortstop.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you listen to this is Tanks and Tutties, presented by Tubbs right now. Franke will be joining us later, but for now, it's just Tubbs. So a little solo episode. Franke is going to join us for a quick clip. Just me for now, though. He is traveling. Just wanted to first shout him out. Appreciate you covering last week while I had a work meeting, and then I ended up mowing the lawn. Had some rain in the forecast. Had to get her done. So be a quicker episode this week. Once again, we're in summer swing. Things are going on. Franke's moving. Franke's, coming to Michigan. I'm actually going to see him next weekend. I'm very excited. So for now, however, I will get us through our locks and long shots. I did get some picks from Franke. So I will start with myself. Still open. Scuba Cy Young -115. ChatGPT's at 6 and 7. I'm at 8 and 5. Still got him by 2. So this week I kept it short and simple. Didn't really love anything crazy. We're getting into that dog days spot. I say it a lot. I'll say it again. Dog days of summer. Tigers are good though. That makes it better. NBA finals wrapping up. NHL finals could end tonight. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they go 7 again. This week Blue Jays money line versus the D-backs -125. Listen. I follow this podcast. Actually, it's a YouTube channel, but I started listening to their podcast. It's a Blue Jays. They live in Toronto. Huge Blue Jays fans. All I'm seeing is how good they are. They've won a lot of games. Take the Blue Jays. Take the hot team. ChatGPT liked the Reds, which was weird. They did say the Yankees. I believe they were too large favorites, but got the Reds next, -130 versus the Twins. So that's what ChatGPT's rolling with. Excuse me. I got a burp. Excuse me. Long shots then. I'm 6 and 19. ChatGPT's 2 and 10. Still open. I got the Knights to sign Marner +550. Haven't really heard much on that. I don't even think free agency's open yet. Season's still going. Obviously, it's not. But usually you hear rumors. Haven't heard a thing. So we will update that when we hear things. This week, Tigers -1.5 versus the Pirates +110. Look, the Tigers have not been playing good as of late. They lost the series to the Reds. Don't love that. Reds, not a bad team, but you hate to drop that, especially when you had the lead, and then you blew it. The bullpen's been absolutely god-awful. Starting pitching, still fine. Flaherty gave up quite a few in his last start, but you got Skubal. So you have a guaranteed win every 5 starts, right? But we've been trying to do our bullpen games, the pitching chaos. It's not working. However, the bats haven't been hot. I think they get hot tonight against the Pirates. +110, take a -1.5. They win this game by 4. Easy money sniper, no big deal. ChatGPT asked him for a home run hitter, and shocker, they went with Judge +162. He's due. I mean, the MLB is killing baseballs. We'll save that conversation for when Franke's back next week, hopefully. I think he'll be able to record next week. But we'll save that to talk about the dead baseballs. Judge last night looked like he absolutely pissed on one, and it was a 401-foot fly out to center. This thing sounded like it was schmacked. 110 off the bat, and it stayed in. Wind was blowing in, and it was 64 degrees, so who knows? But you would think the balls would be flying, and they're not. So, and then Franke this week, he's 30 and 25 on his locks. So on his still open, they're now closed because the series isn't decided, but his bets are. So he had Thunder -2.5 games, -140. That was an L. At best, they win 4-2. And then the series to be under 5.5 games. We're already at 5. Nobody's won yet, so it will go over -135. We'll add that to his record next week, those 2 losses. Last week, he had Dylan Cease under 16.5 outs against the Dodgers. He shut them down 7 innings. They won the game 11-1. Kike Hernandez pitched. So that tells you everything you need to know. -110, that was an L. Bryson, round 1, over 71.5. This did hit -125. He shot a 73, if I remember correctly. This week, he's rocking with the Pacers +6.5 on Thursday against the Thunder to continue the series. Don't hate this pick. It does seem like the series is going to be done, but the Pacers, even with Halliburton playing like shit last night, they were in it. It feels like no lead is too big for the Pacers, and they might do it again. I don't know. It'd be cool if both series went 7. And then he's got Hovland top 10 this weekend -105. He did play good at the U.S. Open. That was crazy. We'll have to talk about that next week. The U.S. Open was insane. So then long shots. Last week he had Naylor to hit a bomb +950. That was an L. He had a couple flyouts. I don't know if they were close, but looking at the stat sheet, he had some flyouts. Hunter Goodman +350 hit a dinger. He did not. Wilmer Flores to hit a dinger +430. He did not. 3 L's right there on the long shots. So one would say he's due. He's got 2 dinger picks this week, and I do like them. They're in the same game, so you'd think he's likely to hit one here. He's got Seiya plus 300 going up against his Brewers, and then Churio as well plus 500. Let's peep real quick. Let's see who's on the mound in the Cubs and Brewers game tonight. It is in Chicago. It was very hot today in Michigan, so I assume Chicago's hot as well. Balls might be flying. Let's see here. Brewers, Cubs, here we go. They got the over-under at 9.5, so the balls might be flying. Chad Patrick on the mound for the Brewers. Never heard of him. And then Ben Brown. I'm very familiar with Ben Brown. The Tigers lit him up. So balls could fly. Let's see. Do they show? Yeah. Chad Patrick hasn't been bad. Let's see if they show the weather on ESPN. Let's see. 81 game time weather. Doesn't show wind. I'm assuming if Franke's going this in, though, wind's going to be blowing out. And then his last pick here, Giants minus 1.5 versus the Guardians plus 143. I'm not sure if they're still on that win streak. They were at like 8 or 9 in a row. Tigers won that series, though, so fuck you. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot Franke a text and let him know he's good to join. And then we will talk quick about why he's not here, what he's up to, and then the big MLB news from last week, and then we will send him on his way, and I'll wrap us up with the grid. I might talk Tigers for a second just to make this not a 15-minute episode, but it's going to be quick. I got a lot to do tonight. So big boy stuff, living with a girlfriend. You have to kind of stay on top of your shit, Speaking of, oh, no, she's not here. I thought she just got back. So, yeah, glimpse into my life. I've been busy, just working, watching the Tigers. I've been watching the hockey. Last weekend, I had a crazy weekend. Let's talk about that real quick. So, Friday, went up to Mount Pleasant for a concert, Cody Johnson concert. It was phenomenal as always. Stayed in a hotel there, right? Saturday, wake up, drive back to Lansing, shower, change into a wedding outfit, pack a bag, and go to the wedding. Franke apparently needs me to send him the link. I don't know if I can do that while I'm recording. Let's see. Invite. Let's see. Here we go. Copy link. And then we will go over here to Discord. Sorry, guys. Unprepared as usual. Send him the link. Boom. So got back. Went to my buddy's wedding. It was cool. Congratulations to him. Stayed few hours, had a couple drinks, didn't dance at all. We had to get to another hotel about an hour away, stayed in a hotel over there. Franke is in. What's up, brother?
What is up? Can you hear me all right?
My headphones turned off. Hang on, I can't hear you. There he is. Try again.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep. Video's just a little laggy, but that's fine. Don't pay attention to the fact that he is driving, you guys. He's not paying attention to his phone.
Hey, I've done
Paige,
this before.
The passenger, actually got him in. So I'm going to finish. I'm going to wrap up my weekend. Stayed in a hotel on Saturday. Sunday, brunch for Father's Day with Sid's family, and then saw my sister in the hospital, drove back, golfed. Broke 90 for the first time. No big deal, 88. That's that. So I figured we won't hold you too long since, obviously, you're driving. You're getting past. Man up. Let's talk about why you're absent.
So, obviously, driving to Charlotte for the week. We've got 8 apartment tours. Yes, that is correct. 8 apartment tours. And then we've got a engagement shoot that we have to get done, as well as potentially meeting with some caterers. So very busy week. And then from Charlotte, we're driving up to Michigan so that Paige can do some dress shopping for the wedding. And obviously meeting up with you, getting to golf. Just kind of hanging out there. Paige's got some other appointments that she's got throughout the week, so that's like a 13-hour drive, I think. So put our 2 drives from Memphis to Charlotte and then Charlotte to Michigan together. That's a good 24 hours of driving there. Plus, then we'll have to drive back to Memphis for Michigan. So long
Don't
week.
envy you. Don't envy you, but I am excited to see you next Sunday. So I told them that I get to see you next weekend. Can't wait to kick your ass because I'm playing some good golf right now.
Shout out to the listeners. This podcast is like a child in a custody battle right now. Each week is getting a solo from somebody else. So
yeah. Uh-oh. We might have lost him.
Oh, no.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah, no, it just said my phone was overheating. So here, we'll give you a nice view here.
Wow.
There we go.
That's insane.
If you would have had me join about 10 minutes ago, I could have given you a nice gas station review of a Quick Trip with a queue.
Okay.
Use the bathroom. Very nice, very clean. Didn't check out this time. Didn't have anything to buy. Gas was fairly cheap. It was like $2.89. A lot of selections. Basically the exact same thing as a Quick Trip with a K. Kind of a rip-off.
Yeah.
But I know at the Quick Trip with a K, they usually say see you next time. And I think at this one they say we'll see you later. So it truly is a rip-off. But great gas station.
stole their business model and everything.
Literally, yeah. So
that's awesome. So I guess that was the big piece, but we can quickly talk about the Devers trade. My opinion on it was the Red Sox had to do it. I think he went because just terrible timing. I mean, you get to what, just barely above 500, but you're half a game back of the last wild card spot. You beat your rival, the Yankees. Did they sweep them? I think they swept them.
Yeah.
And then you trade this guy that's been such a huge piece in your organization. But I think he went in there and demanded it. I don't think this was oh, you asked for a trade earlier, so we're finally going to do it. Because I think that's the last thing they would want to do with where they're at.
I disagree. I think they gave him the huge contract. Was it this offseason, I think?
Yes.
Paid him to be a third baseman. Went out, got another third baseman. Asked him to play another position. He said no. So at this point, you're now paying him how many millions of dollars to be literally only a DH. Yes, one of the better DHs, but only a DH. When the whole plan was to have him play another position, still be a fielder. So I think part of it was that hey, we're paying way too much money for just a DH. They also have Masataka Yoshida, who is also just a DH at this point.
I forgot about him.
Healthy. Yeah, he hasn't been healthy much this year, but
yeah.
And then I did hear some rumors that I think it was Christian Campbell had volunteered to play first base, and Rafael Devers got pissed about that. Not sure why, because he had already said he wasn't going to play first base.
Right.
So then I think at that point it was kind of like, hey, listen, we got to get rid of him so that we actually can have a first baseman, with Casas being out and everything. So I think that was another big point of it. I think the trade wasn't terrible. Obviously, you can get more for him, but they're playing great baseball. I mean, they're 1-0 since they traded him. Can't complain about that.
There you go.
And I think, I mean, yes, Casas is out this year, but Casas is going to be back next year, and he's probably the cornerstone of first base for your franchise. The weird thing to me is they trade Devers to San Fran, and big if true, apparently he said he'd be willing to play first base for them.
That's what I heard. I didn't know if that was sarcasm on Twitter or if that was real, but I did see that.
Yeah, I might have gotten duped on Twitter. Not 100% sure. If so, huge win for San Fran. They have huge first base issues until Bryce Eldridge is up, which actually could be this year. But no, I think San Fran's going to be competing pretty tough for quite a while, especially even though the Dodgers are in their division. I think that they're going to at least make a run at the division. They'll make the playoffs for sure. I mean, I could see them doing kind of a, 2012, 2014 type thing where they even
2010, 2012, 2014.
Yeah. I could see them making pushes for the pennant in the NL for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean the Red Sox probably aren't upset at the moment because they've won 6 in a row. They're 1-0, like you said, since they traded them. And honestly, a weak wild card. You just got to beat out. Well, I guess it's a little tighter than it seems. You got the Guardians, the Rangers, the Twins, and the Mariners are all less than a game back of the Red Sox, but they do have the last wild card spot currently. So don't think it's going to hurt you too bad if you make the playoffs. But
well, and I mean, the
trade
Tigers are
cornerstone
probably
piece.
going to regress and be in the wild card consideration too. So they're definitely not winning that division.
Who is catching them? They're 9 up.
How did they do this last week?
I don't know. 5-5 in the last 10. It's not terrible. If that's going to be our skids, I'm fine. Hey, you don't get to talk about the Tigers. I brought you on here to talk about Devers, and then I was going to give you a chance to talk about the Brewers, but now that you're pissing me off, I might kick you out of here.
I'm kind of pissed that you missed last week because I was talking about the last couple of weeks how we sucked at calling up prospects, and then we called up Miz last week, and you weren't there to talk about it.
Speaking of Miz, how'd he do in his second start? Has he had a second start or no?
No, he pitches tomorrow, I think, at the Cubs.
That's a big game.
It's gonna be tough. It's in Wrigley too, but if the wind is blowing in, I mean,
it's gonna look great.
You never know. I'm hoping he goes out there. What was last game was 5 innings, no hits, 6
4
Ks,
walks?
4 walks, I think. I'm hoping for 9 innings, no hits, no walks, 12 Ks. The second start against the Cubs.
How many
and
pitches?
A win. Probably like 98. And he'll touch 103 on the last pitch.
That's insane. I guess quickly then, why don't you just talk about how you feel about the team other than Miz, because you just hit on him, but 1 game back of the wild card, 1 game back of San Diego. 5-5 in the last 10, but just sneaking back, doing their thing. 5 games over 500. How do we feel?
5-5 in the last 10 is pretty good, actually. Unless you're the Tigers, that's pretty bad. But no, I'm glad we got that fat fuck Aaron Savali out of here. He said he wanted to trade, so go play for the White Sox. Fuck off. Honestly, great trade. Getting Andrew Vaughn, former All-Star, I believe. I think we talked about that in the group chat. I don't remember if he actually is an All-Star or not. We don't necessarily need a first baseman, but if he ever comes up to the MLB again, he can be a great DH. And apparently we're looking at trading Jake Bauers, our current DH / rotational outfield guy. So it's kind of a lateral move there. I guess it depends on what we were able to get for Bauers, but
I don't think you're getting much for Bauers. He ain't do shit.
Well, according to MLB The Show, he was a former top prospect, so you never know.
That's right.
No, I mean, I've heard rumblings that this is going to be a transition year for us, which apparently last year was too. So I'm not really sure. I wish Mark Antanasio would pull his wallet out of his fucking pocket instead of stealing sand off the beach for his beach house in California. But yeah, I mean, I kind of get it. Like, we have a lot of really young prospects that are coming up and should be up this year, next year, the year after. And we have some vets that are like, obviously, look at Woodruff and stuff coming off the injured list. But I don't want this to become like a 4-year thing where every year we're like, you know what, this is a transition year too. Like, no, we have the money now, use it. Like,
right.
Go get some studs and win a division, win a pennant, win a World Series. Like, I don't know.
Well, I think that is all I need from you. Any closing thoughts before we kick you out of here?
Did you see the All-Star jerseys?
I have not. I will look real quick.
I kind of like them. I forgot that they're going back to the All-Star game using the actual team's jerseys, which I like a lot more, honestly. So that'll be cool. But for like the All-Star weekend events, the home run derby and stuff like that, they release the jerseys and the hats. I like the jerseys. The hats are okay. They have this weird like seam across the top of the hat, which is a little strange. But they do look nice. So
I don't like the workout day jerseys. The font is just weird. I don't love it.
Like too childish.
I think it's like cartoonish. But wearing your team uniform is pretty sweet. I'm glad that's back. And then the hats.
Is it in San Diego or San Fran this year? For some reason, I want to say it's San Fran.
Atlanta.
Oh, ooh. That'll be. It's a
The
nice
hat
stadium.
I don't love if this is the right one. I see that seam you're
One
talking
with the
about. Don't
seam,
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It seems boxy. It's like you cut that out and put it in because you fucked up or something. But wearing the team's jersey is awesome. We should. So next week you have to remind me. Oh, are you still here? Did I lose you? You got me? Maybe. He might be gone, ladies and gentlemen. He's texting me. He said, oh, phone overheated. That's going to do it. Let me text her back. All right, he's out of here, so we'll just move on. But I think next week we'll do. I'm going to add a note here. Next week, what was the thing I said earlier we were going to do? Next week, All-Star jersey rankings. And then, what was the other thing I said? I'm going to have to listen to this back. Talk about the U.S. Open. U.S. Open, that's right. U.S. Open. U.S. Open talk. All right. Well, let's finish this up then. Immaculate grid time. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for y'all. Share this screen here. Share my screen. Here we go, football. So, going across the top. Only going to do football today. I'm not going to do baseball. What are we at? 21 minutes? Not bad. So, across the top, you got Ravens, Texans, and then 1,000 yards receiving in a season. Going down, Cowboys, Bills, Browns. So, Browns and Ravens, you can do Odell. We're going to do Odell there. That's easy. Popular answer. Browns and Texans. There's definitely a quarterback there. Oh, Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick is Texans and Bills. We'll put him there. He's probably the most popular answer, but it works. 23%, not bad. Let me text Austin back. All right. Cowboys, Texans. I want to say that's Ed Reed is Ravens, Texans. Ravens, Bills feels like a receiver, doesn't it? Let's do these 1,000 yards. These are easy. So we'll go Josh Gordon. And then we'll go Bills 1,000 yards. Let's get sneaky. I want to say Beasley, but he didn't. Keon Coleman didn't. Kincaid might have. Diggs is the easy answer. Diggs is probably the most popular by far. What about Sammy Watkins? Let's get tropical because I don't think we're getting 9 out of 9 here. So Sammy Watkins did 5%. Nice. Now we got to get a little more tricky with it. Cowboys 1,000 yards. Michael Irvin, old school. Probably the top answer. 20%, not bad. Okay. All right, so we're at 5 out of 9 right now. Ravens, Cowboys. Could that be a running back? Did Zeke go to the Ravens? That fat fuck? No. DeMarco Murray? No. I gotta think. Tight ends, maybe. Bills and Ravens. That feels so easy. Bills and Ravens. A tight end? No. Any sort of lineman? Agumbawale. Who's that? What's that name? Agumbawale. Dare Agumbawale. That's a running back, but Texans only. Texans, Browns. I think Fitzpatrick would work there. That might have been better. Texans, Bills. I could have put Diggs. What was I thinking? Then I could have put Fitzmagic for Texans, Browns. I don't know if he played for the Browns, though. I guess I'll talk about the Tigers while I'm thinking. So they need to get their act together. The bats aren't really going, and the pitching has just been so bad. So they got to go out, get a bat at the deadline, and then get a pitcher. I know they just signed some dude that got DFA'd. Don't love it, but he used to throw 103. So if he can do that, that's all you need for three hitters. But what else are we thinking here? Ravens, Bills. Just feels like a receiver. Ravens, Cowboys. Quarterback. Who's Lamar Jackson throwing the ball to? I got nothing here, y'all. I think I'm going to give up. I got 5. Frankie probably could have got 4. Let's give up and see what we missed. We missed Brandon Cooks for Texans Cowboys. That was gettable. Des Bryant, easy. Tyrod Taylor, not as easy. Deshaun Watson, Texans Browns. Yeah, I want to see who did Fitzmagic play for. Fitzmagic played for Cincinnati, Buffalo, Tennessee, Houston, Jets, Tampa, Miami, Washington. So he never played for the Browns. So we're good there. All right, I'm good with that. Let's stop sharing. Let's see. Should we do baseball? 2,000 hits career, 100 plus run season. I don't know runs. Nah, we'll call it there. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up, y'all. I don't like talking to myself. So next week, Frankie and I will talk All-Star jersey rankings, U.S. Open, and then baseball a little more in depth, and then we'll wrap up the series. So next week will be a longer episode to make up for it, but I'm not gonna sit here and talk to myself. So with that said, have a great weekend. Let's hit some tanks, adore some tutties. We'll see you next week. Peace.